What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be debunking some of the worst money advice and myths that I've encountered in my life, as well as what I've heard since becoming a coach. Bad money advice is usually bad for one of two reasons. Number one, the money advice is either outdated or just ill-informed. I don't think that most people mean to give intentionally bad advice. It's just that times have changed and that person probably has not changed their mindset. Some of the advice I talk about in this video could have at one time been good advice, but times change. And the other reason is that the advice could be very short term. My philosophy, especially with money, is that we want to make long-term, very sustainable change, very similar to fitness. I think that everyone watching this would probably agree that starving yourself and intentionally not taking in enough calories is bad fitness advice. But someone could argue that that is a very effective way to lose weight in the short term. Similarly, I want to expose advice that is only going to give you wins in the short term. Again, my philosophy, we want to make long-term, very sustainable change. And so a lot of short-term stuff that works usually doesn't work for the long term. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the worst money advice that I have heard. Starting with number one, and that is you need to have lots of debt, including credit card balances, in order to have a good credit score. I know that the tension behind this is good. The person just simply wants a good credit score so that they can save money long term on their mortgage. Did you know that the difference of about 100 credit score points equals about $60,000 over the term of a 30-year mortgage? What makes this bad money advice is that you don't actually have to carry balances in lots of different areas in order to have a good credit score. Actually, the opposite is true. If you have high credit card limits and yet you pay the balance off every single month, this will do amazing things for your credit score. This keeps you from having to pay a dime of interest. You do not have to pay interest in order to have a good credit score. Check out this video right here because I go more in depth on what a good credit score is and how to get a good credit score for buying a house. Number two on my list of worst money advice is someone saying taking out loans for school is an investment in your future. It gives you options and it helps you get a job that you can then pay off the debt with. And again, I think the intentions behind this are good. This person wants you to have options in your future. I'm really blessed that my parents steered me away from private education, which was super expensive, and really this led me toward a very affordable state school. Usually, my clients are not so lucky though. The big problem with this piece of money advice is that taking out loans for school actually limits the options that you have after you graduate. I agree that a college education gives you options, but you don't have to take out a big loan to go to a prestigious school to do so. It is estimated that 29% of college grads actually change careers after graduating. And this stat honestly is terrifying if you have 5-figure or 6-figure debt. Nearly 1 out of every 3 college grads are using a degree, but they're not necessarily using a degree that they got. For example, my husband Ethan and I both have a degree, but neither one of us chose career specifically in that subject matter. Having a degree, yes, it opens doors, it gets you into these entry-level jobs, but the subject matter, it honestly just doesn't matter as much if you're willing to work your way up. And if all of this is true, why not go to a community college for 2 years and then transfer to a state school afterward? Honestly, this is one of the best ways to get a degree without taking out loads and loads of student loans. Not taking out student loans actually maximizes your options after graduating. Number 3 sounds a lot like someone saying, hey, just stop spending money in this area, or just stop going to Starbucks, or just kind of this general advice to stop spending money. This really falls under the category of not being sustainable, like I talked about earlier. Sure, you can cut expenses for maybe a month, 30 days. You can do anything for 30 days, right? But is this actually long-term sustainable advice that's going to change your life years from now? Probably not. I think that this is generally bad money advice because it's not going to make that much of a difference long term, and it's going to make you extremely bitter toward the entire process. This is what I do with my clients instead. No matter how far they're in debt, no matter how tight the budget is, I make sure that we work in some sort of fun money that they can just blow on whatever they want. If the budget's really tight, it might be a very small amount, like $20 or $25. If there's a little bit more wiggle room in the budget, we'll talk about it, and usually they'll have somewhere between $75 and $100 that they can just blow on whatever they want. The point is, there's going to be a lot of no's on this debt-free journey. No, I can't go out. No, I can't go on vacation. No, I can't buy this or that. And we really need some yeses in this process to make it sustainable. If you don't do this, if you practice something that's not sustainable, you're going to end up on the cycle of overspending. And it's not healthy. It's really not even progress. You end up in the same place that you started. I always preach that penny pinching has never made anyone wealthy. You cannot deprave yourself into wealth. It just doesn't work like that long term, and I have a completely different philosophy when it comes to being wealthy that I use with my clients. Number 4 is a little bit more of a mindset rather than bad money advice, but it is this overall culture that being debt-free is the ultimate goal. It is the finish line, and that is just not true. I don't have a specific line that I hear people say, but again, it's this overall message that debt freedom is the finish line, and that's just not true. In a lot of ways, it's actually just the beginning. What happens if you turn 59, you're finally debt-free, and all you have is a small savings? You are completely screwed. Being debt-free is not the end-all, be-all of your financial journey. Is it an incredible thing to strive for? Yes. Is it a huge accomplishment? Absolutely. But it is not just completely hands-off after that. Becoming debt-free should actually be the shortest part of your financial journey. It should take really a max of 3 years, and then the real wealth building begins. And I don't say all of this to discourage you at all. In fact, the opposite. I want to encourage you that the best is yet to come. And number 5, guys, this one is so important. I hear people say this all the time. Something along the lines of, but it's my kids first, ... kind of enter kid-centered excuse here. Okay, so you know how there's all these like inspirational quotes floating around social media? Most of them sound the same, but I came across one that has actually changed my mindset when working with families, and it is this. Most parents are willing to go broke for their kids, but they are not willing to get rich for them. Oh my gosh, have you ever heard something more true than that? Parents are willing to go broke all day long for their kids. They want to look rich on the outside, but they're not willing to say no to their kids. They're not willing to budget. They're not willing to say no to social pressures and actually get wealthy for their kids. The bad money advice here is spending money you don't have in the name of your kids or in the name of your kids' happiness. Let's take this a step further. Even worse, money mindset advice is this: taking care of your kids' future when your retirement is in shambles. This is a huge no-no, and I've had clients come to me that have done this exact thing. If you don't take care of your retirement, if you don't take care of yourself first, you will be 100% a burden on your kids in retirement. Hear me on this, guys. There is no way around this. There's no big government assistance that's coming to save you. You need to pay off your debt. You need to have your savings in order, and you need to make sure you are on track for your retirement before you put money away for your kids' education. So here's kind of another example in this realm. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. I love Kevin O'Leary, and he has basically built this huge portfolio around the wedding industry and the newborn industry. Why is that? It's not because he loves weddings and he loves newborns. It's because people are willing to spend way more money than they normally would on these special events. And they justify it in their own head. They think about the social media posts that they'll be able to have, and they think about all of the pictures and the memories and things like that. And it's really hard when decisions like these are 99.99% emotional, and there's nothing wrong with emotional spending, but we have to be aware and we have to set really firm, hard limits on things like this. I talk a lot about emotional spending in this video here because buying cars, especially being in front of strangers, making big decisions like that is very emotional, or can be very emotional. Same thing with this. Get away from the emotion. Make big decisions when you're tapped into the best version of yourself. Get accountability around you to hold you to those decisions that you make. And don't go broke for your kids, guys. Get rich for your children. And that brings us to number 6, HELOCs. I know the term playing with fire is so overused and it doesn't really have that wow factor that HELOCs deserve, but oh my gosh, if anything can be described as playing with fire, it is taking out home equity lines of credit. I cannot tell you enough, guys, how dangerous HELOCs are. So here's my big example for this. A couple lives in a house, has a mortgage, and they both lose their job or some sort of big emergency pops up, and they start living off credit cards for several months. Eventually, their financial situation becomes stable again, but now they've run up the limits on all these credit cards and they've got debt kind of everywhere. They really want to consolidate the loans. They want to take all this debt and just have one monthly payment each month, so they take out a HELOC. They think that this is kind of their saving grace, right? They can basically take money out of their home, pay off all their debts, and now not only do they have their mortgage payment, but they're also paying the HELOC in addition to their mortgage. Sounds great, right? All of their problems are solved, the credit card payments are gone, they've got the HELOC, they've got the mortgage, everything is under control, right? No. Here's the caveat. Credit card debt is unsecured debt. If you get behind on a credit card payment, you can call the lender and tell them about the situation, get an extension, get a couple months of no payments, right? They'll work with you. If it ends up going to collections, which usually takes 6 to 9 months of you not paying them anything, you can then settle the debt for much less than it originally was. With a HELOC, there's no options like this. This is secured debt. You can lose your house if you get behind on payments, if you miss payments. Okay, they will give you fees. They will stack all this stuff up, and then eventually they'll foreclose on your house. They will take your house from you. There is no grace here. There is no extension. There is no calling your lender and getting a couple months of not paying. That doesn't happen with a HELOC. You lose your house if something pops up, if an emergency pops up and you're not able to make the payments. The biggest reason why these are dangerous and these are scary is that people don't know about this. These HELOCs are packaged up with a nice little bow and they tell people, hey, this is the solution to all of your problems, and people fall for this, okay? So hear me out. I might do a whole nother video on HELOCs, but do not get a HELOC. Do not put your house on the line like that. Number 7 is bad money advice sounds like timing the market can save you years, okay? This is very bad advice. It's very well known in smart investing circles that time in the market always beats timing the market. When you try to time the market, you have to be right not once, but twice with something that is 100% unpredictable. When you time the market, you must buy low and sell high. Otherwise, it doesn't work. When you're consistent over long periods of time, this is considered time in the market, right? When you're timing the market, you have to be lucky. When you have time in the market, you have to be consistent. Isn't it a lot easier to be consistent than it is to be lucky? Number 8, this bad money advice sounds like when you pay off your house, you lose out on a huge tax break. I have been so surprised as an adult how many times I have heard this ludicrous advice. It's true, when you pay off your house, you don't get to write off that mortgage interest any longer, but there are literally so many other ways that you can lessen your tax burden, like contributing to an HSA, contributing to an IRA, or upping your 401k contributions. Literally, why would I continue to burn money each month on mortgage interest when I could get a very similar tax advantage by investing that money instead in an IRA, in an HSA, in a 401k? I'm literally burning money or investing money. And it's the same tax equivalent. And if you're thinking, wait, that doesn't make any sense, then why would you hang on to the mortgage? Yeah, you're right. It annoys me that so many people talk about this. If you really want the tax write-off so bad, pay your house off and then invest money in those three things: your HSA, your IRA, and your 401k. Number 9 sounds like this. Cancel your gym membership. Running outside and working out at home is free. And again, you're not wrong, but here's my beef with this. Are you really gonna run? Are you really gonna work out at home? Investing in your health is just as important as getting your finances in order. If you have one but not the other, what's the point? Really think about this. If your finances are in perfect order, but your health is a mess, you die at the age of 45 from a heart attack, obesity, high blood pressure, whatever, I mean, literally, what is the point? You really need to prioritize and have both. Similarly, if you've got the body of a Greek god, but you leave debt to your children instead of a legacy, instead of an inheritance, and that's a real thing, look it up, you can leave debt for your kids. Honestly, like what is the point? What was it all for, right? Your body is worth investing in. Your body is worth spending money on to make sure that you stay healthy. The reality is you'll have lots of cars, you'll have lots of houses, lots of jobs throughout your life, but you get one body. If you mess it up, it is really hard to come back from that. So yes, gym memberships do cost money, but let's remember the goal here. The goal is not to just stop spending money. The goal is not to increase our net worth at the cost of everything else. The goal is to be good stewards of what God has blessed us with. The goal is to be good stewards of our time and resources. And here's some transparency for you. Ethan and I spend an embarrassing amount on our health each month, and that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. I'm here for a good time and a long time. So I would love to know, leave a comment below of the worst, most outrageous money advice that you have ever been given. If you got value out of this video, please hit the subscribe button. The biggest thing, the best way that you can support my channel is to subscribe. I really appreciate it every single time you guys do that. Thank you all so much for supporting my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.